Hey everybody, Pete Rose here from Rhapsody Music. This is another one in our series of Rhapspired moments with our instructors and staff here. Today we have Mr. Cody Hazelle with us. Cody is a fairly new instructor here at Rhapsody. Teaches piano, guitar, also runs some of our rock band programs, and has been a really good addition here to our faculty. So first thing, Cody, welcome. And what I'd like to find out is just how you ended up here. What was the road that took you from the beginning to ending up here as an instructor?
Well, in the very beginning, I played a lot of video games, and I still do, but I used to too. But they came out with these, like the Guitar Hero and Rock Band video games and stuff like that. And those games just have a lot of great music on them, for sure. There's like Black Sabbath and Iron Maiden and Megadeth, lots of great stuff on there. And then, so all my friends ended up picking up guitars at that point, and I was like, well, I guess I'll pick up the bass guitar then, fill in that niche. And then from there, I just kept learning more bass music, had some lessons for a while, and then picked up guitar a couple of years later, and then piano a couple of years after that.
Interesting. You find, and I know from some other instructors that I've spoken with and have talked to over the years, that the overwhelming majority of musicians these days are self-taught to a great extent.
I wasn't self-taught. I definitely had bass lessons, and then that teacher also taught me guitar for 2 or 3 years, about that, and then I was pretty much self-taught after that. I had private instruction in community college it was for jazz piano, but I was still such a beginner at piano, it was just kind of like regular piano lessons at that time.
How do you think that the addition of structured instruction do you combine that with the idea of being self-taught and learning? I mean, because there's so many more avenues that students can get information on these days and learn to play certain things.
Yeah.
How do you kind of integrate those two?
Well, that's what I'm finding interesting is maybe half the students that come to me are like, oh, I was using this piano app, or I was using this thing online or whatever, and I'm enjoying it, but I just need some kind of instruction. And actually, that's what I ended up doing, because I was taking lessons from Anna for a while. So I was learning a bunch of music on the piano, and I hadn't had any piano instruction in probably about 10 years. And I was just finding there were all these gaps in my knowledge, and I'm like, I just need someone to see my playing and figure out what it is that I can do better, and then fix all those holes, and then I'll go and work on it myself. So I had lessons with her. All in all, it wasn't even really that long.
So Cody, what musical projects are you involved in personally? What types of music and things like that?
Yeah, so right now I'm in an electronic pop band, like a synth pop kind of band. And there I play like a drum machine and a sampler and a synthesizer, that kind of stuff. Kind of in charge of the sound. And then before them, I was in this psychedelic band where we were oldies psychedelic and neo psychedelic kind of stuff. Just real emphasis on textures and colors and melodies and good songwriting, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. And do you do some of the writing as well in that group, or
in that group,
or is it a kind of a group effort?
Yes. So that group, it was me and another guy writing the songs and doing all the recording and stuff like that. And then in the group I'm in now, the electronic pop group, it's just one guy writes the songs and he just comes to us with them and we just play them.
Cool.
Yeah, it's fun.
So with your private students in the number of instruments that you teach, what do you think would be do you establish individual goals for each student, or do you have a goal that's kind of overall for all of your students? Where do you want to get them to?
Yeah, it's definitely on an individual basis. I ask them what their goals are first, and depending on the age, a lot of times they have their own goals. Usually the kids that are coming to me because they want to learn, they're like, oh, I want to be able to play this, I want my reading to be better, I want to be able to transcribe things, I want to be able to improvise, whatever it is. So whatever their goals are, I'll just try and help them get there.
So in addition to the private students, like I said earlier, you also run some of our band programs here. If you're not familiar with it, we take students, we put bands together. We're sitting in our studio right now, which is our rehearsal studio, where we have an instructor, we learn a few songs, and then we put on a concert. How is that different from the private students that you have? Do you have any kind of a different approach to working with a band as opposed to individual students?
I don't think my approach is that different, other than you're just trying to get people to play the same stuff at the same time, you know? If there's like a particular spot where we're messing up, we'll just rehearse that same spot over and over again, just like I have them do in private instruction. I'll just encourage them to be more like a band, like to listen to each other, and to understand their role too. Maybe that's a little different, because the young drummers might be like, well, this drum part is boring. It's like, well, that's your job. Sometimes your job is to do nothing at all for any instrument. Even bass. Sometimes you don't play anything. Like it doesn't matter if your job is boring. Your job is to serve the song and the music and just what sounds best. And if a simple drum beat is what gets us there, then yeah, like that kind of thing.
I've always told students that's the reason they have rests. It means don't play anything.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Great. Well, Cody, thank you so much for coming in today.
You're welcome.
And being here with us. If you'd like to know more about Cody or any of the other instructors we have here at Rhapsody Music, please give us a call, 623-465-7060. Go to our website, which is just rhapsodymusicaz.com. Or better yet, if you haven't been to our new location over here, please stop in. Let us give you a tour of the place and show you the studios we have here, the setup that we have, and hopefully get you involved in playing some music. Okay? Thank you so much, and we'll see you guys all later.
Take care.